I saw an ad for a personal injury law firm where one of the lawyers said, "We hope you'll never need us. But if you do, we're here for you." The message, of course, is that they hope you'll never get into a personal injury situation and need a lawyer's help. But if you do, my first thought was, I know you need my help. Or put it this way, at least 90% of the population have no knowledge of infinite banking and the advantages it gives to those who practice the strategy. So just about everyone needs the help of some professional expert, infinite banking coach, broker, agent to explain, educate, and coach you, your family, your friends, co-workers about this financial life-saving, elevating strategy. Of course, just like the personal injury lawyer in the ad, I wish you didn't need my coaching on this strategy, because that would mean that you already are familiar with and are using as a regular course of action the money power multiplying strategy. Aloha, I'm Stan Cox, principal broker and strategist with SC Finance Strategies and Insurance Consultants. I'm also the author of the books on the tax-free cash growth warehouse strategy, and I'm the managing director of the Hawaii Financial Freethinkers Academy, a nonprofit financial literacy education organization. For the past several years, I've focused on and specialized in the infinite banking concept and the tax-free cash growth warehouse finance strategy. If you find this information to be helpful, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Also, please post your questions and comments here. Now, I first learned about and began using the infinite banking strategy in 2014. At that point, I had just recently closed my photography business and had embarked on a new career in the finance sector as a life insurance agent. But it wasn't until I had been in the insurance industry for about 2 years that I accidentally kind of stumbled on the banking concept with the cash value of whole life insurance. No, I wasn't introduced to the infinite banking concept by any of my fellow financial professionals. My then sales manager had spit out a very poor semblance of a sales idea, calling the cash value of whole life the bank of you, and that you could borrow against the cash value and never pay it back, along with some other really bad advice. But the vague concept sparked my interest, so I began researching it, and that's how I found Nelson Nash's book on infinite banking. Now, that book, however, raised more questions than it answered, so I dug in and sent myself to school, researching and learning everything I could about infinite banking with whole life cash value insurance. There's a whole lot more to it than simply borrowing against the cash value of your life insurance policy. It really is a simple strategy once you understand it, but finding the right company and getting it set up properly is a bit more complex. Then training yourself to have the right mindset and actually practicing the strategy takes a little work. In my example, I had been self-employed for most of my working life, and I had never established any kind of retirement plan, and I never had life insurance. I had only used banks in all the usual ways: checking, savings, credit cards, and personal loans. And in every case, I paid for the use of the banks and their services, rather than getting paid as I do now when using my tax-free cash growth warehouse. Like most everyone else, that's all I ever knew. I had no idea that not only did whole life insurance grow cash value, but that it grew with really high interest and tax-free. When I learned the significant differences between mutual and stock insurance companies and the various riders that contribute to the cash value and how that affects the growth of the cash value, I was blown away. But more than that, I was excited to put this knowledge to work for myself and my wife. And then, after testing the strategy out and seeing the actual results in my own case, I became more excited, more than excited. It became my mission to get this powerful knowledge into the hands of as many people as I can. As for my own experience, as I said before, I had never established any retirement account. And in fact, I never really built any savings either. I had established savings accounts in banks, but I never made any money at all. They charged fees for housing my money, and it was a bit of a hassle to get any money out, and paid so little interest, it just wasn't worth it in my mind. So I kept my money in my checking account. One of the first things we did after testing out the viability of infinite banking for ourselves was to pay off our car loans. Now, it's 10 years later, and even while we've leveraged the cash value of our policies for a bunch of things, including furniture, computers, gigantic flat panel TVs, and vacations, we've grown enough cash value now to be able to buy a brand new SUV and pay cash for it, which is a really good thing, especially as I just heard on the news last night that interest rates for new car loans is now around 7% APR. And the real killer with that is that interest is amortized. So instead of 7% per year on a declining balance, the total interest you have to pay on a typical 7-year financing of a car amounts to nearly 50% of the base purchase price. As I mentioned earlier, it takes a little work to train our mindset to get the greatest advantage from this infinite banking tax-free cash growth warehouse strategy. The reason we call it the tax-free cash growth warehouse is because the cash value component of participating whole life grows tax-free. And the protections that are built in with the cash value of whole life insurance is like a warehouse that is built like a fortress and locked and secured with only the owner having the key to gain access. Plus, as we began using the infinite banking strategy for ourselves, we incorporated some other powerful finance strategies such as cash flow principles and sweep strategy, which infinite banking beautifully facilitates and produces a synergistic effect for the advantages. So while it is built on the infinite banking concept, I felt that what we promote and teach should be differentiated by a unique moniker. Now, back to the idea of training our mindset to use the strategy. The mechanics of the infinite banking's tax-free cash growth warehouse strategy are so different from what is taught about finance in mainstream institutions, it feels strange at first. Kind of like if you play golf and you've always used a baseball grip on the club, then you go to a lesson, take a lesson from a pro who teaches you to use an overlapping grip or an interlocking grip. It's going to feel really strange at first. Regardless of what your specific goals are for using the infinite banking tax-free cash growth warehouse strategy, regularly putting more money into the policy than just paying the basic premiums may take a bit of getting used to. Similarly, taking policy loans to leverage the cash value to finance things may at first require getting past a natural hesitancy to do that. But unlike the bad advice my former sales manager once gave, while you don't actually have to repay the policy loans on any kind of schedule, you do want to repay the loans however it is convenient for you, because then more money becomes available for you to use to leverage and finance other things. But as in our case, instead of financing a new SUV at 7% APR amortized interest and being required to make $1,000 a month payment to the bank and paying nearly 50% more for the car, we are leveraging the cash value in our infinite banking tax-free cash growth warehouse, and we'll make monthly payments of whatever we darn well please, and we may even skip a month or so now and then, because we can, and no penalty. As I said before, it's my mission to help people with this finance life-saving strategy. So I hope this personal account and information I've shared here has piqued your interest to want to learn more. In that case, watch our free 60-minute webinar, How to Become Master of Your Financial World. The link is in the description box below. And again, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Post your questions and comments here. The link to buy my books on Amazon.com is also below. And if you'd like to book a free phone consultation with me, the link to my Calendly page is below. If you'd like to apply to become a client of ours, the link to the application is below. We're here to help, and we look forward to helping you. So for now, aloha and mahalo for watching.